Today on Wired Wild, we are doing some spring bed prep, and we are going to tackle one of the toughest things in gardening.
If you've ever fought quackgrass, you know how relentless it can be. Today I'm showing you how to beat it naturally with regenerative practices.
Here you can see a technique that I'm using to help keep this quackgrass at bay. I've got some cardboard here down, and I put a thick layer of cottonwood mulch here on the cardboard. You can see in this bed here that in this bed we haven't done any garden prep at all yet this year, and you can see how the quackgrass has just come in and completely taken over this bed, and there's really not a whole lot I can do with it right at the moment. So this year we're going to try some techniques to try and eliminate that, and one of them is going to be to cover this bed with some black plastic to try and help cook the quackgrass out of that and really sterilize that soil so we have a nice good fresh start for next year. And then behind this, I'm going to show you here in a second a bed that I did cover with black plastic last season to try and mitigate some of this issue with the quackgrass. This year we're going to actually try something different, and we're going to actually try and put down a heavy layer of mulch to try and build the soil back up and eliminate the quackgrass at the same time. Okay, so what you're seeing here now is a close-up shot of a clump of quackgrass that I dug out. As you can see, this grass has a lot of these really fine white roots, and what these roots are actually rhizomes. I've got one here in my hand. This bad boy right here is going to cause havoc in your garden. This is what we're trying to prevent. Quackgrass actually reproduces rhizomatically, and it will spread like wildfires through your garden just with this little piece of root. It also does create seeds and does reproduce sexually, and so that's why this stuff is so nasty. And then you can see this matted root mass here. So let's get down to it here and take a look at what we've got underneath of this plastic here. I haven't taken this stuff off at all, so this will be a good idea for you or a good way for you guys to see exactly what I accomplished here. So surprisingly enough, under this plastic you can see that there is still remnants of some weeds. In this case it looks like the very deep rooted like dandelions are coming up through here, but there's no quackgrass underneath of this, so that looks like it did pretty well. Now on the edges I can see some quackgrass starting to come in there, but what we're going to do is we're going to add some heavy mulch to this, and we'll get this guy mulched in with his cottonwood completely today, and then that way we'll be able to really see what kind of difference it makes in how this quackgrass or these beds do with this new system, and how the quackgrass responds to it. But I'm looking forward to this year maybe doing some more regenerative farming techniques like this and trying to really improve our soil nutrition and kind of get back to basics. that's going to potentially be an issue here. So what I'll do, I have another bed that's ready to be uncovered. I'll take I'll take that covering off of that bed, and then we'll actually make sure we get full coverage on this guy, because if you don't have full coverage, that quackgrass will just keep on thriving. Yeah, you just literally just staple this guy down along the edges as best you can. And that edge I don't have anything, so I'm gonna have to figure something out there, but I'll probably put a 2x4 or something underneath of there just to keep it down so that the wind doesn't blow it around. But literally it's that simple. There you can see what the final bed looks like once it's all covered up. You can see I stapled a piece of scrap material to the top of the piece that didn't reach all the way across there, that tarp that I put down. This should work pretty well. It'll at least knock back most of that quackgrass over the course of a season. I will show you another bed here right quick of what it may look like even if it's completely covered with a tarp. It's not always perfect. Here's an example of a bed that I had previously uncovered that did not get completely sterilized by the heat from the underneath of the black plastic. These are mostly dandelions, and all of this will end up getting mulched.
If you're ready to restore your land naturally, subscribe to Wired Wild. More DIY regenerative tips are just around the corner.